electricity that's in this building right now.
Unbeaten Xander Zayas could raise the Puerto Rican flag as a first-time champion.
This is the moment he dreamed of. This young kid, the sky's the limit.
While the veteran Mexican warrior Jorge Garcia seeks to take the title for himself.
He's ready for this moment right now.
This is Top Rank on ESPN+.
A hot and humid summer day here in New York City. A vacant World Junior Weight Middleweight title will be on the line tomorrow night when Xander Zayas squares off against Jorge Garcia. But before they step in the ring, they have to weigh in, and the Fight Week has been brought to you by Miller Lite and Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Also, the theater at Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of boxing. And there is a look at Madison Square Garden, which has played host to many historic fights. And tomorrow night's world title fight featuring Xander Zayas and Jorge Garcia for the vacant junior middleweight world title should live up to par with some fantastic fights that we've had here in the Garden. As we welcome you inside the theater at Madison Square Garden, we're in the lobby of the theater for today's weigh-in. Hello, everyone. I'm Christina Poncher, joined by Chris Algieri once again. Pleasure to have you with us. And it's an exciting night of fights. And anytime you have world championship fights at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, it doesn't get too much bigger than that.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of talent on this card from top to bottom. But listen, there's another character, and that is the Garden. This is the Mecca of boxing, and everyone's dream as a fighter is to fight here. And these fighters all have an opportunity to live that out in reality.
They absolutely do. Let's take a look at the fighters that are fighting tomorrow night here at Madison Square Garden. We talked about Zayas Garcia as the main event. Bruce Carrington, Emiliano Vargas. All the fights get started at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+, 3 p.m. Pacific. And then you can join us at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific for the main three cards. I mean, Chris, when you look at that bout sheet, I mean, there's some good fights right there.
No, this is a top to bottom really good card. And if you're in the area and you're coming, come in early. This is one of those like get comfortable, take a seat, grab your drinks, grab your beers, grab your food. You want to sit and see every single one of these fights because there's tons of talent on this card, and we're going to be seeing these fighters for years to come.
I agree. And if you would like to grab a beer, some popcorn, and sit down with us, scan that QR code. There are still a limited number of tickets available for tomorrow night, or you can go to Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets and join us live. Doors open at 5:45 Pacific time. As we welcome you back, and we're waiting for the fighters to get ready to weigh in. They're waiting to weigh in. I know. I'm sure they are. Part of the reason we talked about this main event being so exciting is a style of matchup. You have the classic rivalry in boxing. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. We've seen it time and time again. It kind of brings out the best in both fighters. Maybe not the two biggest names you've ever seen in the rivalry, but nonetheless, two styles that will entertain.
Yeah, absolutely. Good styles, a good style matchup. You know, both fighters fight to their country. You know, you got Xander Zayas, who's the Puerto Rican fighter. He's very savvy, he's very slick, he's got good offense. You've got Garcia, who's rugged, he's rough, he's a good body puncher. I think these guys match up really well in terms of their style, and they fight to their, like I said, they fight to their countryside. But this is going to be an excellent fight, and they might not be the biggest names per se, but there's a lot on the line.
And both of these guys have a big opportunity, right? That vacant belt at 154 up for grabs for the WBO. And for Xander Zayas, I mean, he's kind of followed that WBO path throughout his career and being from Puerto Rico. But look, when he first signed with Top Rank, he was 16 years old. I remember his big smile, those braids in his hair.
Remember the hair? Yeah, remember the
hair?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And he's getting ready to fight for his very first world title and on the precipice of making his dreams come true. I mean, there's the hair.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. He's grown physically, obviously, into this weight class, but as a fighter, mentally strong, ready for this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I was in gyms with him back when he was 16 years old. Every time I saw him, I called him the incredible growing boy, because every time I saw him, he was in a new weight class.
The shoulder is all wide, right?
I mean, we've watched him grow into what he is now. There he is right there on our screen, fighting for his first world title in one of the deepest divisions in the world today. 154 has a ton of talent, top to bottom, great names in there, and Xander wants to mix it up with everybody.
Absolutely earned this opportunity, and taking on a tough test in his for this vacant world title, but that's the way it should be. Jorge Garcia, I spoke to him yesterday at the press conference, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so appreciative of being given this opportunity." And I said, "Given?"
Or given
I was like,
nothing.
"Excuse me, sir, you earned this opportunity." We thought maybe we'd see Xander Zayas versus Sebastian Fundora. We thought maybe when Garcia was fighting Conwell was the favorite. We did not expect it to be Jorge Garcia. He earned the opportunity to fight for this vacant world title tomorrow night.
Listen, I admit when I'm wrong. I had some egg on my face. I thought it was going to be Charles Conwell here tonight. I thought that he was a fantastic fighter. He's a guy that everybody in the division should look out for. Guess what? Nobody told that to Jorge Garcia. He went out there, he fought his butt off that night, earned the decision, won that fight, really dominated down the stretch, looked very, very good in that fight, and is here today to upset the apple cart once again, or tomorrow, I should say.
Yeah, that would be 3 times in a row that he's done that.
Back to back.
That would be a crazy run, you know, and you can't look at his resume and say, oh, he's against an undefeated fighter. He has some losses. He has 4 losses. 3 of those losses were by split decision.
Yes.
You know, those were close fights that he lost. And
oftentimes fighting in those guys' backyards.
so you know what that means.
Right, exactly.
He probably won
Exactly.
if he gets a split decision loss. But nonetheless, 2 other exciting fights on the main portion of the broadcast. Bruce Shushu Carrington fighting in the co-main event against Matthias Heita. A long way for Heita to come to New York City from Namibia, but 2 undefeated fighters squaring off for an interim featherweight world title.
Very important. You know, it's an interim title. It's not the true title. But listen, things change often in this sport. And we see guys who get elevated because champions are now making moves. They're going to different weight classes. They fight other opportunities. So this is a really important fight for both these guys, especially in another really deep division, featherweight. Featherweight has a ton of talented champions, and Shushu Carrington, he wants to smoke with everybody.
And you can see the distance that they've had to travel to get here tonight. Speaking of the distance, this is the first 12-round fight on the docket for Bruce Shushu Carrington, but Heita's been the 12-round distance. He's had multiple 12-round scheduled fights. He's more experienced fighter, and you know what, even though people might not know his name, you've done your homework.
Yep.
He's a serious threat.
Oh, absolutely. No. This is new for both guys. Shushu, it's new because it's a 12-rounder. For Heita, it's new because he's coming across the world. But listen, I've been watching him. He's a heavy-handed, very methodical puncher. It's not going to bother him because he's going 7,000 miles away from his home. He's here to win that interim title because he sees himself as a future world champion.
And either one of these guys in the near future could be elevated to full featherweight world champion, depending on what happens. You said it earlier. The champions have been moving around, jumping around weight classes. If, you know, Shockey Foster, let's say, moves up to 130.
No, Shockey Foster's at 130.
I mean, 130 moves up to 135. Excuse me.
If Foster moves up to 130, then
that's it.
The winner of this fight would be elevated right there.
That's right. So a lot on the line in our co-main event. And the opening bout on ESPN tomorrow night will be Emiliano Vargas taking on Alexander Espinosa. For Emiliano Vargas, an opportunity. This is his New York City debut. He's very excited about fighting here. The family, him and his father, riding bicycles, running around Central Park. But the last time we saw him, speaking of opportunity, was on the undercard of Naoya Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas, and he put on a show that night.
Listen, I expected that to be a test. I thought the guy was going to be super durable. I thought we were going to see some rounds. Nope. Emiliano Vargas does not get paid for overtime. He is certainly his father's son. He went out there and got that guy out of there in violent fashion.
He always steps up to the plate each time he's been granted an opportunity. And as you see him there with his father, and actually looks really good for a weigh-in day. We've seen some of these guys like look really taut, like in their face, and he's ready to go. He's ready for his moment.
No, absolutely. And he said that this is his best weight cut thus far. He's looking really, really good, really, really strong. And if he looks better than he did last time, then, man, it might be a quick one. So don't go get your beer during this fight.
Right. And he has a tough test, too. Alexander Espinosa has a ton of experience. He's a fighter from Ecuador who spent his entire training camp in California. He made the necessary sacrifices because he knows this is the biggest fight to date. And even though he has nearly double the fights does Emiliano Vargas, he understands he's coming in here as the more experienced, but the underdog.
More experience, more fights, more years as a pro. He understands what he has in front of him. Listen, everybody knows who Emiliano Vargas is. He knows what he brings to the table, and Espinosa knows exactly what's in front of him. It's good to hear that he's had a full training camp. I'm sure he's going to go out there and try to do his very best against potentially a future superstar.
All right, we showed the full fight card earlier. We talked about all the talent. Here's a refresher if you need it.
I got my guy.
I think I know what you're going to say, but who is it on the undercard that you're most looking forward to that's must-see TV?
The meanest welterweight in the world. That's Rohan Polanco. That's my guy, man. He always comes out there, does what he needs to do. I'm always impressed each and every time out. Last time was a great win against Fabian Maidana. Definitely don't want to miss that one. Rohan Polanco.
Yeah, and he's fighting Quinton Randall.
Yes,
So
who's an upset specialist.
That's what I'm saying. So that's a really solid matchup before we get started on the TV broadcast. For me, it's Steven Navarro.
Yeah.
6-0 with 5 knockouts, taking on Christopher Rios, a fighter that has more experience than him. But every time Steven Navarro steps in, he's must-see TV. He entertains. He's got such a great head on his shoulder. He's got a great team. I'm very much looking forward to Steven Navarro tomorrow night.
Super sharp and an absolute warrior. Always entertaining.
All right. Who else is always entertaining? Ralph Velez, you ready? I'm going to send it over to you now to get our weigh-in started. Take it away, Ralph.
Thank you, Christina, and happy birthday week to you as well.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Mecca of Boxing, the theater at Madison Square Garden, New York, New York. Hall of Fame promoter, Mr. Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, is proud to present the official weigh-in for tomorrow night's title extravaganza. 6 titles up for grabs, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus and 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. As always, we are joined by the top-ranked knockouts. Please welcome Tiana, Chanel, and Pamela. Check out their Instagrams for a behind-the-scenes look at Fight Week through their eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin the weigh-in with our opening attraction tomorrow evening. 4 rounds of boxing in the featherweight division at a contracted weight of 133 pounds, featuring Brandon Ayala and Julius Ballo. Introducing first to the scale with a record of 2 victories and no defeats, from Harrisburg, North Carolina, Brandon Ayala. .130.2, 130.2 for Brandon Ayala. And now to the scale, his opponent. He is making his long-awaited debut tomorrow evening. This decorated amateur is a 2-time elite national amateur champion from San Diego, California, Julius Juju Ballo.
.132.6.
132.6, 132.6 for Ballo.
Julius Ballo making his pro debut. He was a highly touted amateur, won several national tournaments, and now he's getting an opportunity to make his pro debut on a top-ranked card at Madison Square Garden. Do you remember your first time you fought here?
I do. I was actually on a top-ranked card. I was not signed to top rank, but I was a local ticket seller, so I got a slot on one of these shows. And man, it was truly a dream come true. I fought here 4 or 5 times since then. Every time was special.
I'm blocking you. Sorry about that. Oh.
Juju, not to be confused with Shoo Shoo, which is later on.
We got a Juju, a Shoo Shoo.
Both super talented young guys, though. There's Juju right there.
Might be a few fans in the building cheering for Julius Ballo. His family, his entire family, it will be in the building. And he has, on all his social platforms, combined over 1 million followers. It's kind of what we're starting to see now. These guys are building themselves up before they even enter the pro ranks via their social media.
Yeah, I mean, we're living in a different era. You see guys like Ryan Garcia, who was famous and rich before he became a world champion. He still hasn't become a world champion. So there's different ways to do it now. And social media has really opened up the lanes for some of these young fighters to become stars even before they make their pro debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next weigh-in is for our second attraction tomorrow evening. 8 rounds of boxing for the Junior NABF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Introducing first to the scale, the challenger with a record of 11 victories and 2 defeats. 7 of his victories coming by way of knockout from Compton, California, Christopher Rios.
Put your feet in. Perfect. 114.4. 114.4.
114.4, 114.4 for the challenger. And now to the scale with a record of 6 victories and no defeats. 5 of his victories coming by way of knockout from Inglewood, California, the reigning and defending junior NABF junior bantamweight champion, the undefeated Steven Navarro. $115 even, 115 even for Steven Navarro.
Should be a good little matchup right here, the second fight of the night. Steven Navarro representing Inglewood, California. Christopher Rios representing Compton, California. So LA versus LA in NYC. But, you know, a huge opportunity for Steven Navarro on a big card to continue. He's been busy.
Yeah.
You know, and he's been getting knockouts, 6-0, 5 knockouts. But each and every time, he's like, I plan to steal a show.
Yeah.
And he's done that.
Yeah, Steven Navarro from the Fighting Navarro family comes with a lineage of fantastic fighters and has really come along really fast. You know, it's only his first year, rattling off 6 fights here in his 7th, fighting in the Garden. Huge opportunity for this young man. I mean, he's got all the potential to be a major player in this sport in a couple of years.
And an 8-rounder already in his career, too.
Right. And against a guy with some experience. So this is a nice test. You see the mean mugging already. These guys are not taking any half steps here. So expect a good one. Because Steven Navarro, as early it is in his career and as stylistic and sharp as he is, he's still very entertaining and likes to scrap.
Once again, it's Navarro versus Rios. 8 rounds of boxing for the junior NABF Junior Bantamweight Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, our next weigh-in is for our third attraction tomorrow evening. 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant NABO Featherweight Championship, featuring Aaron Alameda and Jan Santana. Introducing first to the scale with a record of 30 victories, 2 defeats, 17 of his victories by knockout, from Nogales, Sonora, Mexico, Aaron Alameda.
Full name. El nombre completo. Mueve los pies un poquito para adentro. 125.6.
125.6. 125.6 for Aaron Alameda. And now to the scale, his opponent. With a record of 14 victories and no defeats, 12 of his victories coming by way of knockout, from La Romana en la República Dominicana, the undefeated, dangerous Jan Santana.
Muévete los pies para adentro. No, para adentro, para acá. No, las manos para abajo. 124.8.
124.8, 124.8 for dangerous Jan Santana.
A look at the tail of the tape between these two. Alameda, 6 years, Santana's senior, but they are both undefeated in their last 5 fights. You see the experience advantage there for Aaron Alameda, 32 professional fights compared to 14 for Jan Santana, but that knockout percentage, Chris.
Jan Santana, man, you got to really tune in for him. He is a really promising prospect. But look, he's fighting a guy 30-2, 32 professional fights. That is the level of confidence that Team Santana has for him. I get it. He is that good. But this is going to be a stern test for sure.
Working with Top Rank and also Kodo Promotions, Jan Santana, one to watch on the undercard tomorrow night.
Once again, guys, round of applause. Santana versus Alameda. 10 rounds of boxing for the vacant NABO Featherweight Championship. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Hall of Fame ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you as we continue with the weigh-in for the attractions featured on our ESPN Plus Big Night of Action, brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, taking place tomorrow night right here at the theater here at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Well, let's bring out our fighters. It's scheduled 4 rounds of boxing. It's a junior bantamweight special attraction featuring Juan Mita Lopez de Jesus versus El León Jorge Gonzalez Sanchez. First to the scale with a record of 5 wins and 2 losses, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout from Las Marias, Puerto Rico. Please welcome El León Jorge Gonzalez Sanchez.
$114.8.
114.8 pounds, 114.8 for El León Jorge Gonzalez Sanchez. And now his opponent, undefeated in his young campaign, 2 wins, no losses, 1 win coming by way of knockout. Proudly representing the fine boxing tradition from Caguas, Puerto Rico, here's the undefeated southpaw Juan Mita Lopez de Jesus.
113.8.
Already 113.8 pounds, 113.8 pounds for Juan Mita.
Yes, you may recognize the name. Juan Mita Lopez de Jesus is the son of former world champion Juanma Lopez, fighting his 3rd professional fight, 2nd here at Madison Square Garden. His last fight was in Puerto Rico. He actually went down in that fight. He said it was a slip, but it was ruled a knockdown, got back up and finished the fight. But good experience for him. He said, look, I got the distance in. It's not what I want to do, but I'm excited for an opportunity to rebound in a better performance tomorrow night.
Yeah, Christina, I don't know if you remember, we called his pro debut, and I was wondering, I'm like, I wonder if he punches like his dad. Sure enough, I mean, he came out. I said he even looked like his father, and then he cracked just like his dad, too. So very, very interesting prospect here in Juan Mita. Very, very talented. Looking forward to seeing him do some work again tomorrow.
And, of course, the Puerto Rican contingent is in the building and will be in droves tomorrow night as he looks up to one of his idols, which is a trip to think about Xander Zayas now being a guy that younger guys look up to, but he is. Right. So he's excited to be fighting on his card.
His idol's 23 years old. Only a couple years old.
One of them,
but yeah,
right?
One of his idols, exactly. But here we go. We got him going back and forth. We got Puerto Rico versus Puerto Rico in the Garden in New York City. No love lost here between these two.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking ready to go at it right now, but we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. ESPN Plus, 4 rounds, junior bantamweights. Juan Mita Lopez de Jesus versus El León Jorge Gonzalez Sanchez. Well, fans, we're ready to move on to our next fight. Scheduled 10 rounds of boxing, the vacant NABO welterweight championship featuring Rohan El Rayo Polanco versus Quinton Randall. First to the scale with a record of 15 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with 3 knockouts. Please welcome the crafty welterweight contender from Houston, Texas, Quinton Randall.
Give me your full name. Yeah.
Weight limit on this fight, 147 pounds, as they are welterweights for the NABO title.
146.8.
146.8 pounds, 146.8 for Quinton Randall. Next to the scale, he's an Olympian, 2021, 16-0 with 10 knockouts. He's undefeated. The WBO #7 world rank contender from Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, Rohan El Rayo Polanco.
No te muevas. 146.6.
146.6 pounds, 146.6 for the undefeated El Rayo Polanco.
About the Puerto Rican contingent showing up for their fighters, and here are the Dominican contingent here in New York City. Very strong representation here for their guy, Rohan Polanco.
taking on Quinton Randall, who is coming off a good performance in his last fight when he fought Janelson Figueroa Boca Chica, kind of a crossroads fight for both of these guys. He comes in on top, and now he's got another tough task in Rohan Polanco. But I think this matchup will be interesting tomorrow night.
Yeah, Quinton Randall representing Houston, Texas. Listen, he could fight, and I said that at the top of the show. He is upset-minded. You look at that 8-inch reach advantage for the Houston fighter. This is going to be a good one.
And if Polanco is as close to getting an opportunity for a world title as he wants to be and thinks he is, these are the type of opponents that he's got to fight.
Oh, absolutely. And he's got to get past him. He's got to look impressive. He did that last time out against Fabian Maidana. Fabian Maidana, who gave Mario Barrios, who fought Manny Pacquiao last week, all the trouble in the world a couple fights ago. He had nothing from Polanco. Polanco put him down in the last round, won every single round of the fight.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the vacant NABO welterweight championship, 10 rounds of boxing. Rohan El Polanco El Rayo is his nickname, against Quinton Randall. Well, fans, coming up next is our very special attraction. We'll be featured as we then go live on ESPN, commencing at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Following this fight, we'll have our dual World Championship action. But first, at this time, please welcome, we have the NABF Junior Welterweight, Junior NABF 8 rounds of boxing live on ESPN, 9 p.m. featuring El General Emiliano Fernando Vargas versus Alexander Espinosa. First to the scale is the challenger. With a record of 20 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, he has 9 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making his U.S. debut. Please welcome from Ibarra, Ecuador, Alexander Espinosa.
Nombre completo. No te muevas. 139.4.
139.4 for Alexander Espinosa. And now introducing the champion, undefeated in his campaign with a fine record of 14 wins, no losses, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. The hard-hitting junior welterweight phenom representing the famed boxing Vargas family. Here is El General Emiliano Fernando Vargas.
Then you can put your flag back. You need full name. Yeah. Put your feet in. 139.6.
139.6 pounds, 139.6 for El General.
Quick look at the tail of the tape. Last 5 fights, obviously 5 up, 5 down for Emiliano Vargas, as he's done 12 out of 14 times in his career. Very experienced, durable opponent, though, in Alexander Espinosa, who has an 8-year advantage in experience.
Yeah, well, so was the last one. We saw that, how
All
that
right.
one finished.
Shut that right on down.
As you said, 5 up, 5 down. Emiliano Vargas does not take his time. He goes out there and looks to destroy in a ferocious fashion, but looking like he made the weight very, very professionally today. Looked strong at the scale. I saw him walking around earlier this week, looking healthy. So that's a good sign. But also, as he's growing into the weight class, 140 is a weight class full of good punchers. So it's good for Emiliano Vargas to fill out and mature. And he's got a tough fight in front of him, a guy who's very mature. Obviously, you see the size difference there. Espinosa, a lot of experience, older guy, but he's been in with some tough competition as well. So this is another test for Emiliano Vargas.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss this junior welterweight 8-round special attraction opening up our broadcast on ESPN. El General Emiliano Fernando Vargas versus Alexander Espinosa. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move to our co-main event of the evening, the first of our world title attractions, scheduled 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant interim WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington versus Mateus the Beast Heita. First to the scale, with a record of 14 wins, no losses, 9 wins coming by way of knockout. From Windhoek, Namibia, world rank contender making his U.S. debut, the undefeated Mateus the Beast Heita. Weight limit on this fight, 126 pounds. That's a featherweight limit.
No move. 124.8.
Already 124.8, 124.8 for Mateus the Beast Heita. And now his opponent, also undefeated with a record of 15 wins, no losses, 9 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of and proudly representing Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. Here is the undefeated WBC #1 featherweight contender, Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington.
Full name. Don't move, Shoo. Shoo, you're moving. Don't move. 125. 125.
Even 125 pounds for Shoo Shoo Carrington.
Good.
Shoo Shoo Carrington looking very fit, very ready, coming in 1 pound under the 126-pound limit. Ready for his interim title shot against Mateus Heita, coming all the way from Africa here to the Mecca of boxing. Both these guys in their last 5, both with undefeated records in their last 5 fights. 4 KOs for Heita, heavy-handed. 3 KOs for Bruce Carrington, looking to make that 6-0.
Shoe York City, Chris, don't forget, as he would call it. Shoe York City.
There's Shoo Shoo Carrington representing Shoe York City. Extremely confident here tonight. Huge opportunities for the winner of this fight, that interim title in a very, very stacked featherweight division. Both these guys understand what's on the line. Expect fireworks tomorrow night here in the Garden.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's 12 rounds for the vacant interim WBC Featherweight Championship of the World. Do not miss this action between these 2 undefeated fighters and world-ranked contenders, Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington, Mateus the Beast Heita. Well, fans, we're ready to bring out our fighters for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds for the vacant WBO Junior Middleweight Championship of the World, featuring Xander Zayas versus Jorge Chino Garcia. Let's bring out Garcia first. With a record of 33 wins and 4 losses, he has 26 wins coming by way of knockout from Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. Here is the WBO #2 ranked junior middleweight in the world, Jorge Chino Garcia. Weight limit on this fight, 154 pounds.
153.
Chino Garcia weighs in at a ready 153 pounds, 153. And now we bring out his opponent, undefeated at 21-0 with 13 knockouts, fighting out of Sunrise, Florida by way of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Here is the undefeated WBO #1 junior middleweight in the world, Xander Zayas.
$154.
Xander Zayas weighs in right at the limit of 154 pounds. 154 for the undefeated Xander Zayas.
Both these men looking to be in phenomenal shape for their world title opportunity. Both these guys, big 54-pounders, 6 foot tall for Jorge Garcia, 5'10" for Xander Zayas. Both these guys with a 74-plus inch reach. Very big for this weight class. Surprised to see Jorge Garcia actually taller than the young Xander Zayas. Both these guys, records the same in their last 5 fights, 5-0, 3 KOs from each. Both these guys with huge implications for the future in the very, very stacked 154-pound junior middleweight division. And there's the prize, the WBO World Junior Middleweight title on the line here at the Garden. Puerto Rico versus Mexico.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. The WBO Junior Middleweight Championship of the World, Xander Zayas versus Jorge Chino Garcia.
Vámonos, cabrón. Vámonos a la verga. Let's go. Vamos, cabrón. Let's go.
Gonna let the man rehydrate for just a second. Jorge Garcia, thank you for joining me. The biggest weigh-in of your life, an opportunity tomorrow night to become a world champion. What is your message to everybody tuning in for tomorrow night to potentially watch you become a world champion?
Gracias a todos por estar aquí, por este gran apoyo que me están brindando a mí, a mi equipo, a mi empresa. Vamos a ganar, venimos a ganar y ¡viva México! ¡Viva el Chino García! ¡Ánimo!
Thank you to everyone here. Thank you for the support, to my team, to my promoter, and Viva Mexico, long live El Chino Garcia.
You earned this opportunity, 2 upset wins. No doubt that you are the underdog tomorrow night, even though it's a vacant world title. How do you make it 3 times in a row, coming in here, getting a fight as an underdog, and coming out victorious to be here the new world champion tomorrow night?
Así es, somos 2 personas arriba del ring solamente. Nadie le va a ayudar y nadie me va a ayudar. Somos 2, a los 2 nos duele y pues vamos para adelante a ver quién de qué cuero más sale más correa, como dice luego.
Yes, we are 2 people, and it's just going to be us 2 in there. No one's going to help him, and no one is going to help me, so we're going to see who's the best when we get in there.
Good luck tomorrow night. Buena suerte. Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Saludos a todos. Bendiciones. Ánimo.
All right, we're going to make it on to the other side of the stage now, waiting very patiently. Appreciate you, Xander. All right, last weigh-in before potentially becoming a world champion tomorrow night. As you'd say, most of the hard work has been done now that you've stepped on the scale and made the weight.
Yeah, there's no potential. After I become a world champion tomorrow night, there's the last weigh-in. I'm ready to put on a show tomorrow. He's a tough opponent, but the work is done. There's no questions to be asked. It's only me and him. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna take over like I always do.
Madison Square Garden, Puerto Rico versus Mexico, main event, fight number 22. What does this opportunity mean to you and for your entire island of Puerto Rico?
It means the world. It means the world, obviously, at 22 years old, fighting at MSG for the world title for the first time, 8th time here in this venue. It's a dream come true. I can't ask for anything better than this. I'm excited for tomorrow. I know Puerto Rico is excited for tomorrow, and I'm going to put a show for them.
Anything in Spanish you'd like to say why everybody should tune in? We got a few tickets left to sell. Yep. The Garden's going to be incredible tomorrow night.
A toda mi gente boricua, a toda mi gente de Nueva York, gracias por el apoyo, gracias por estar aquí presente. Y mañana Puerto Rico tendrá un nuevo campeón del mundo.
Thank you, Xander. Appreciate you. All right, Jimmy, take it away. Okay, well, we'll take it away together. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into our weigh-in show. It is a fantastic night of boxing. Tomorrow night from Madison Square Garden, the theater. Make sure that you guys tune into our undercard. There's a full look at the fight card getting started at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN+. And then the main card at 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Those 3 main fights right there. Must-see TV. Select tickets are still available. Join us from the theater for our entire crew. Ralph Velez, Jimmy Lennon Jr., Chris Algieri. I'm Christina Poncher. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night.
And now Zayas is looking to close the show. That is it. TKO victory.